Sir.
Sir, we
Very
have
good,
Professor
thank you for
Nimit with
joining
us.
us.
Very good morning to all of you.
Sir, we have Professor Nimit with us today. He's the chief guest of the event.
Welcome, Professor Nimit. Thank you very much for sparing time for our college. So nice of you.
Good morning.
What more we can say that the theme of the fest is absolutely as per your wisdom, knowledge, and acquired wisdom of so many years. We'll get the best of it. Our students will gain. So nice of you for sparing time for our college. Thank you very much.
Always welcome, sir.
I'm actually, we are limitations that, as you know, but we look forward to meet you very soon. I'm
Sure.
Be very normal, very
Yes.
soon. Government is contemplating. Thank you. Please, Dr. Kavita, please start.
Yes, sir.
And Dr. Swati, I think she's the.
Yes,
please do.
I request Dr. Swati to begin.
Yeah. I now request Analya to please begin with the program.
Okay, ma'am. The tourist who moves about to see and hear and open himself to all the influences of the places which condense centuries of human greatness is only a man in search of excellence. Good morning to one and all present here. The Department of Geography, Shahid Bhagat Singh College, welcome you all to its annual GeoFest Vasundhara 2021 on the theme Tourism and Culture Synergies. Tourism and culture have an intrinsic relationship. Arts and crafts, dances, rituals, and legends, which are at risk of being forgotten by the younger generation, may be revitalized when tourists show a keen interest in them. Today, the relationship between tourism and culture is being rapidly transformed by changing lifestyles, new forms of culture, and creativity, and the development of new technologies. The theme attempts to address the eco-culture tourism, the challenge tourism possesses to remote cultures which are unrevealed to the outside world, and what the future holds for the metrics that tourism and culture create. An august and blessed event in the Indian culture begins by remembering Lord Ganapati, who is the Vignaharta, the remover of obstacles. Let's begin our event with Ganesh Vandana, sung by Maria Dennis.
गणनायकाय गणदेवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणाधीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशाणाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशाणाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि गानचतुराय गानप्राणाय गानान्तरात्मने गानोत्सुकाय गानमत्ताय गानोत्सुकमनसे गुरुपूजिताय गुरुदेवताय गुरुकुलस्थायने गुरुविक्रमाय गुह्यप्रवराय गुरुवे गुणगुरुवे गुरुदैत्यकलक्षेत्रे गुरुधर्मसदाराध्याय गुरुपुत्रपरित्रात्रे गुरुपाखण्डखण्डकाय गीतसाराय गीततत्त्वाय गीतगोत्राय धीमहि गूढगुल्फाय गन्धमत्ताय गोजयप्रदाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशाणाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशाणाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
That was indeed lovely. How captivating poetry of footsteps. Now, to begin with, I would like to call our staff advisor, Dr. Swati Rajput, to introduce the annual fest Vasundhara 2021 for us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Analya. A very good morning to all. I, Dr. Swati Rajput, Staff Advisor, Department of Geography, Shahid Bhagat Singh College, welcomes our chief guest for the event, Professor Nimit Chaudhary, sir. He is Professor and Head, Department of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Jamia Millia Islamia. I also welcome our mentor and our respected principal, sir, Dr. Anil Sardana. Welcome to all faculty members, colleagues from different colleges, judges of the events, students and participants from all over India. Department of Geography, Shahid Bhagat Singh College has completed its glorious journey of 53 years. In this long journey, the department has risen to great heights and recognition in Delhi University and also at various national as well as international platforms. Each year narrates the story of its success and achievements. Vasundhara, the annual Geo Festival of Geography Association, has been one of the most awaited events of the year. The two-day extravaganza is full of fun and frolic, knowledge and celebration of togetherness. This year, due to pandemic, the festival is happening online. This year, for the first time, we are experimenting the stage of Google and the tents of Zoom to celebrate this elaborate event. The theme of Vasundhara 2021 is tourism and cultural synergies. In pandemic year, when tourism almost halted, we decided to revive it in our minds with the hope of its opening in full swing at the earliest. The United Nations World Tourism Organization Report 2017-18 highlights the symbiotic relationship between tourism and culture and also interdependence of these two sectors. Tourism enlivens the heritage and culture is a fundamental component of tourism. The colorful dresses of Northwest India, the cuisines of East and South, the historical monuments, religious places, fair and festivals, Indian culture thrives to its best. Touching upon all this and much more are the events of Vasundhara 2021. It includes theme-based events like Digital Nomads, Student Symposium, Dance Competition, Yatra Photography Competition, Abhivyakti, Open Mic, and Quiz. Fortunately, being an online festival, we have received huge responses of more than 300 entries from various departments and universities, as well as colleges of Delhi University. Like we've received entries from Hindu, Keshav Mahavidyalaya, CVS, Dayal Singh College, Motilal College, Miranda House, Zakir Hussain College, and almost all the colleges of Delhi University. We have got entries from all over India like Ambedkar University, Christ University, Bangalore, VPM, TMC Thane, Symbiosis Noida, St. Xavier Ahmedabad, St. Xavier Jaipur, Dronacharya University, BHU, IGNU, Delhi Technical University, Symbiosis Pune, Maharani College, Jaipur, and many more. All participants, most of the participants are present in our inaugural ceremony. I wish all the best to all of you. Your participation really means a lot to us. My best wishes for the student team for conducting their events. Student coordinators have really worked hard by conceptualizing the events, coordinating, marketing, getting online entries, getting partners, etc. Huge appreciation to you all. Huge appreciation to your courage and your enthusiasm. I hope Vasundhara 2021 to be a big hit and it's going to set a new benchmark for all upcoming online festivals. Best wishes and thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to call Dr. Kavita Arora, Teacher in Charge, Department of Geography, Shahid Bhagat Singh College, to read the annual report of the department.
Thank you, Analya. Yeah. Respected Principal Sir, Professor Nimit, my dear colleagues from Shahid Bhagat Singh College and other colleges, and faculty members of various institutes and colleges who join as judges for the events, and dear student, warm welcome. The Department of Geography, Shahid Bhagat Singh College, is well known for its academic pursuits and in University of Delhi and all over India. The department has always been keen to the overall development of students. This year has been a special year in our history due to difficult and challenging times that the world went through. The pandemic brought vast differences in our life, so that in our academic pursuits. But our department did not stop and shifted its working very smoothly in the online mode. The virtual shifting gave a number of opportunities to all associated with us. In fact, the department not only organized all the events, but reached to the more people than the on offline mode. The department organized their 3 webinars during the lockdown period on urban health and preparedness in global pandemic COVID-19, GIS webinar on spatial data creation using open source software and applications, and webinar on migration, livelihood, and vulnerabilities in COVID scenario. Not only this, department organized a virtual farewell for its passing out student. Because of pandemic, our academic session got delayed and we started little late, but very soon our department invited the nomination and Geography Association was formed and selected a very wonderful team. And you can see today events also, which are organized by this team. A student team which is doing a praiseworthy work. The department organized its inaugural ceremony of Geography Association. On this occasion, a lecture on why should place matter was delivered by Dr. Aditya Mohanty, who is the faculty of Central University of South Bihar, Gaya. And the chief guest was Professor S.C. Rai, head of the Department of Geography, Delhi School of Economics. After that, on the World Habitat Day, department organized a quiz, A Tale of Cities on 5th October 2020. As you know, the field work is the integral part of geography discipline, and our department did not miss this important component of geography. And it also organized a virtual tour to Yamuna Biodiversity Park on December 7th, 2020. Our department also organized a virtual workshop on urbanization and pollution along River Yamuna and assessment on 14 December 2020 as the part of ICSSR Impress project, which is run by Dr. Vishraj Sharma. The department also organized another workshop on analyzing food security concepts and methodology on 18 January 2021 as the part of ICSSR major project investigating by Dr. Swati Rajput. Uh, After this, our Geography Association organized a virtual fresher party on the very interesting theme, the cassette and old school Bohemian folk. And it was really interesting event because throughout the event, I remained there and I enjoyed a lot. After this, our Geography Association very successfully organized National Geographers Youth Conclave on the theme Use of Social Media as a Research Tool in Geography, Shifting Paradigms and Emergent Issues on January 28, 29, 2021. In this event, 25 selected research studies were presented, and these research studies were the effort of the 6-month research process. Today, we are participating in the inaugural function of our annual GeoFest Vasundhara on the theme Tourism and Cultural Synergy. And in this is not a single event. There are many events included in this, which is apprised by already Dr. Swati Rajput. And not only this, our department already planned a international conference in the month of April um, on the exploring the application of solidarity approach in geography. This department not only completed these events but extended its expertise to setting up and building the Center for Disaster Management Studies at Shahid Bhagat Singh College, and all became possible because department believe in excellence and supportive spirit. With the same spirit, I welcome you all for our annual GeoFest Vasundhara 2021 and hoping that you will enjoy, learn, and accelerate your knowledge and experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ma'am. Let us now welcome our patron, known among all of us for his wisdom and knowledge and for the opportunities he has given us, our Honorable Principal, Dr. Anil Sadana. I would like to request Sir to kindly say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I take this opportunity to begin with to welcome Professor Nimit Chaudhary, Professor in the Department of Tourism and Hospitality, Jamia Millia. We are thankful to you for gracing the occasion and sparing time for us. Teacher in charge, Dr. Kavita Sharma, Staff Advisor Swati Rajput, my contemporaries, Dr. Poonam Sharma, Dr. Raman, and other teachers of the department, many other students, and I can see some of the alumnus also. I welcome them also to the program because as they always been part of this success journey of Department of Geography, which Dr. Kavita has beautifully explained, and I acknowledge that and recognize that also without repeating that. Otherwise, I would have talked about that while in my address. So, my dear students, they are really a real energy of our college. Department of Geography has always been very active and forthcoming in organizing all programs, and they have not missed any. And today also, when we are meeting here to inaugurate Vasundhara, the Mother Earth has really given a lot of good things to everyone to survive and flourish. And when we celebrate its cultural integration and cultural diversity and the energies which we derive for it, that's a really binding factor for our country. And Department of Geography, Shahid Bhagat Singh College has done its bit to contribution in many ways and has always kept the spirits high. My compliments and my greetings to the whole department for organizing various functions and particularly this. And today they are going to release a magazine also edited by Dr. Suraj. That is also a very good thing, that nothing has been left. Everything has been done, whatever was the program. The only thing which I am missing, because I have been attending Vasundhara for many years as a colleague of all of you. The thing which I am missing is that this particular program used to give opportunity to meet our old friends and senior teachers who used to come, and it was a wonderful feeling. But maybe because of this pandemic and because of moving to the online, that has not been done, could not be done, because I can understand the limitations because all our elders colleagues are 70 plus, and meeting them in physical mode was always a very delightful. And soon I'm sure when the things will be normal, we all will be again able to invite them. And I really admire the things which are being done by the department. This is the time to celebrate. This is the time to feel happy for the things which you have done, and opportunity to various students, which I heard just now. It's not only inter-college competition, it is an inter-university competition also. So I'm sure that the level of programs will be high. Thankful to judges who have spared time, and it is a very difficult work to do, but you are doing it. So nice of you. So not taking much of the time, my greetings and my blessings are always there with the young team of students who are really very good. And once again, I welcome Professor Nimit Chaudhary and the whole department. God bless you. Please enjoy your festival, and anything else is required from the administrative support side. I'm always there, and you know that there's no problem for that. So you are most welcome. Enjoy yourself. My blessings and greetings. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your kind and motivating words. Next, we have a melodious instrumental performance by Harshit Pathi, Cultural Co-Coordinator, Department of Geography, Shahid Bhagat Singh College. it was superb blend of comics, tune, and divine musicals. Moving ahead, now I would like to call Dr. Suraj Mal, Magazine Advisor, Department of Geography, to release our annual magazine Landscape on the theme Human Responses to COVID-19.
Thank you, Analia. Uh, Good morning to all of you, and a very warm welcome to our annual festival, Vasundhara. I'm sorry I have some technical failure, some trouble with my camera. So I can share the screen, but somehow my video is not visible. So I would like to share the screen. Is it working?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, all of you. Respected Principal Sir, Dr. Anil Sardana, our teacher in charge of the Geography Department, Dr. Kavita Arora, Student Advisor, Dr. Swati Rajput, our Chief Guest, Professor Nimit Chaudhary from Jamia Millia Islamia, my dear colleagues, and I can see my teachers as well who taught me in my bachelor's studies. Dr. Anupama Hasija is here. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. Dear colleagues, dear students and participants, it gives me a pleasure to coordinate and present the annual magazine Landscape of our department. In this academic session, we are releasing the 14th edition of Landscape magazine, focusing on an apt challenge, which led to a serious setback in the entire humanity, that is human responses to COVID-19. This pandemic has threatened human life and related aspects, including global trade, employment, health, migration, and much more. Therefore, in the light of this recent and most critical event, the current edition of Landscape highlights the experience and challenges of our society and the stakeholders as observed and experienced by students from a variety of disciplines. I must tell that the magazine is purely an effort of students at all stages, including collection of the articles, review process, editing, compilation, and final and bringing it to the final form. I wish to appreciate and acknowledge the immense hard work of our students, Pratyush, Kavya, Medha, Diksha, Krishnakant, Prithviraj, Mridul, Gautam, Divya, and there are so many other students who have been working day and night to make it possible to have this landscape well in time. And I believe that the students team could deliver a high quality and a timely publication. At the same time, I'm thankful for unending and unconditional support from our principal, Dr. Sardana sir, teacher in charge, student advisor, and our colleagues. For the conclusion of this edition, I would particularly like to mention the unconditional support rendered by Dr. Vishwas Sharma, because he was part of this when we were discussing the theme selection. So he was part of it, so he played an important role. And also Dr. Amrita Bajaj, she was also helping a lot during the course. I sincerely hope that this edition of Landscape will throw an insight into the most debatable and unexplored aspects of COVID-19. Of course, there are so many negative things that we have experienced regarding trade, migration of laborers, and so on. But there were some positive aspects as well in terms of pollution. Pollution levels were down. For the first time, I think
Dr. Suraj, your voice is not coming. Dr. Suraj, please unmute.
it seems somebody there was some another technical failure. So what I was telling is that there have been so many negative aspects of this COVID-19, but yes, there are some positive aspects as well. For example, in last summers, the pollution levels were down tremendously. And also what I learned recently that for the first time, we have a surplus of funds as far as research projects are concerned. Because when we conduct research projects, which are mostly related to the, which involves a lot of field work, the field work could not take place. So this money was left unused. So there were some positive takeaways as well. So thank you so much for joining this Vasundhara festival and giving me this opportunity to talk a little about this annual magazine of our department landscape. Thank you so much. Over to you, Nadia.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Rashmi Rani Anand to welcome our chief guest, Professor Nimit Chaudhary, Department of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Jamia Millia Islamia. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Analya. It's my special privilege to introduce our chief guest, Professor Nimit Chaudhary, sir, from Department of Tourism and Heritage Studies, Jamia Millia Islamia. His research interests include tourism entrepreneurship and small business management, marketing of services, destination marketing, and destination management. Sir is also associated with skill development, particularly in the tourism sector. Sir has diverse work experience and had worked with Indian Institute of Tourism and Travel Management for 10 years under Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. Before that, he was working as Deputy Director at Center for Entrepreneurship and Small Business Management at MDS University, Ajmer. Having been invited, he also served as Professor of Business at Shawsing University and Professor of Business and Administration at State of Mexico campus in Mexico in the year 2001. He also served as a reader in management at Institute of Commerce and Management, Jivaji University, Gwalior in year 2004. Sir keep himself very active in research and presently he is supervising 3 doctoral candidates working on issues related to tourism and other services and entrepreneurship. 14 PhDs have already been awarded. Besides that, Sir has also received various awards like Career Award for Young Teachers, Best Teacher Award, PIMG Research Excellence Award. He also received Professor Manu Bhai M. Shah Memorial Research Gold Medal at 64th All India Commerce Conference held at Pondicherry University. Sir has also published widely in international and national journals and has also received various Best Research Paper Award and is the author of various books like SPSS for Tourism, Hospitality and Events published in 2020 by New York Routledge, Tour Leadership and Management published in 2018 by Sage, his editor for International Journal for Tourism and Travel and International Journal of Indian Institute of Tourism and Management and associate editor for Asian Journal of Entrepreneurship. And the list of publication is huge. His contribution in the world of academia is numerous and I could mention here only few. Sir has also worked on several research projects and assignments and provided consultancies to various ministries like Ministry of Tourism, Government of Jammu and Kashmir, Madhya Pradesh State Tourism Development Corporation, Punjab Heritage and Tourism Promotion Board, Department of Skill Development, Government of Sikkim, Madhya Pradesh Eco-Tourism Development Board, Tourism Corporation of Gujarat Limited, etc. He has attended almost 145 conferences, symposiums, seminars, and workshops. Apart from that, Sir has also served in the capacity of head of the department at Department of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Jamia Millia Islamia. Sir has also served as head of the department at Department of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Jamia Millia Islamia, Nodal Officer at Indian Institute of Tourism Travel Management, Noida, Chairman of International Business Program at Indian Institute of Tourism and Travel Management, Gwalior, to mention few. So we are happy that you are here to share your vast experience, different perspectives, and knowledge on tourism and cultural synergies to the audience. With these words, now I invite our chief guest, Professor Nimit Chaudhary, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rashmi,
Thank you, sir.
for that thorough research. That's almost a paper. And very good morning to all of you, especially Professor Sardhana Saab, principal of the college, my faculty colleagues from the department and from the college, including Professor Kavita, Professor Poonam, Professor Swati, I think Professor Suraj also, other members of the faculty. A very good morning to very, very talented, enthusiastic, energetic students of the department, college, and all the students from different universities and institutions who are participating in this event. First and foremost, please accept my compliments and my good wishes for organizing Vasundhara 2021. In fact, I'm complimenting you for celebrating the spirit of Vasundhara in these difficult times. And just two comments before I get to my agenda. One, Analia and later Swati in her, were talking about very close relationship between tourism and culture. In fact, the whole premise of my discussion today is based on the belief, based on the hypothesis that, in fact, geography is the antecedent for all culture. And tourism is just one of the outcomes, or is just one of the products that we use, because I come from a business management background. So I talk in terms of products and services and selling and economies and profits and all those things. So please excuse me for that. And let me also admit, and before that, let me start, allow me to share my screen. Host has to allow me, can I request the host to allow me to share my screen?
So check now.
Okay. Thank you. I think my screen is visible now. Sorry. What happens to this? Just allow me this from here.
Sir, press F5, sir.
No, this doesn't work on my computer. Anyway, I think I've done. So I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. So the theme was particularly of interest to me because it's talking about tourism. But before anything, before I begin to speak, let me admit and let me acknowledge that I'm not a student of geography, and that precisely was my fear and apprehension. And so the first slide that comes up is, in fact, a slide for me and not for all of you. And I thought that let me educate myself about what is geography, and a poor man's source of understanding as far as geography is concerned is National Geographic. So I went to the site to grasp the first basic definition of geography. I had a fairly good idea that geography is about physical properties of Earth's surface. But what interested me was that geography also encompasses the human society spread across the Earth's surface, and which also reminded me that the way we look at tourism in India is very different. Uh, and I'm just supporting it with my arguments. Uh, in India, tourism is normally part of faculties and departments of management, and it's the people from business, management, commerce who drive tourism in India. But if you look at the global academic, you know, uh, landscape, most of the good departments of tourism, most of the researchers in tourism come from departments of geography. And so we appreciate that contribution of geography and that correlate of geography with the tourism. But let me begin with this very small concept of earth cycles. And as students of science, or at least many of us have studied science in our schools, we know about the existence of humankind, and we understand that there are different processes and cycles which are important for us. And say, for example, the three earth cycles on your screen. I'll just pick up one of them. Say, for example, the nitrogen cycle. The whole idea is that human beings, along with other life form, they must participate and help complete the nitrogen cycle. So we extract nitrogen from the atmosphere, consume nitrogen. Nitrogen is, as we all understand, is very important for us because it is the source for amino acids and nucleic acids, which is very important for the existence of human beings. And then we release this nitrogen, not only us, even animals and plants. We release this nitrogen into atmosphere. It undergoes a change, again completes the cycle and gets released in the atmosphere. So we continuously, complete this nitrogen cycle. But why I'm talking about this nitrogen cycle is, the reason why I'm talking about nitrogen cycle today is that as humans spread all over the world, they, as human beings, as biotic entities, must complete the nitrogen cycle. So they looked for source of nitrogen. And then comes into play the geography of the place, the geology of the place. Geology of the place, or the geography of the place, which created different sources of nitrogen. Say, for example, at some places which are close to water bodies, say sea and other thing, humans derived nitrogen from fisheries and other things. Maybe in some places from paddy, rice, whatever was available. And look, why I'm talking about such an elementary thing is that over a period of time, when I'm talking about time, I'm talking of thousands and millions of years. Humans have been doing this, completing these cycles, and in the process, they've started relating and identifying with the world around them, with the nature around them. So we were using, say, for example, paddy, and then we were left with husk. So we started using husk. You used husk for thatching your roofs, or for, weaving some clothes out of it or something. And then farming of paddy was important. So we started celebrating certain festivals. And that is precisely where, our culture, or the source of our tangible culture. When we are talking about culture, we uh, generally and visibly concerned about the tangible part of the culture. And even this tangible part of the culture is closely related to the geography around us. And that is why I say geography is a huge and a very important antecedent for culture. So we ended up in places, we ended up, interacting with the places, and we created different places. Say, for example, in India, somewhere in India, and you know this somewhere, this is Banaras, Varanasi. So thousands of years of continuous human existence. When you say continuous human existence, the continuous human struggle with the forces of nature to survive and, kind of negotiate the nature and try to control the nature and controlling the nature for one's own existence. So we ended up doing something, what is there on your screen. But then this was the story almost everywhere on this planet, on this Vasundhara, and says somewhere else, thousands of miles away, along the banks of River Thames, human endeavor resulted in something which was very different, a very different landscape from what we did to the banks of River Ganges, right? So geographically, you can generalize two rivers, people getting to the banks of these rivers and starting to habitate these places, live in these places, struggle and negotiate these places, ending up doing two very, very beautiful things. And then in tourism, we come up with this idea of ritual inversion. What is ritual inversion? Ritual inversion is the anxiety, is the motivation that drives a lot of tourists around this world to go and visit and feel for themselves a place which is very different from their own routine. So I come from a state called Rajasthan, which is dry and hot. So every time I see a water body, whether it's a lake or a river or a sea, I'm so excited. And whenever it rains, I'm excited. Whenever I get to a place which is green and cooler than what Rajasthan normally is, I'm excited. And the vice versa is also true. A lot of people travel to places like Rajasthan and even deserts and Bhuj in Gujarat because they are very different from the places that we normally reside at. So this is the principle of ritual inversion, and this is one of the very, very important drivers of tourism. It's not just the excitement of seeing another place, it's also a lot of learning that takes place. And maybe if I get time, I'll talk more about this concept of learning and transforming, because when you learn, you evolve as a human being, you actually transform yourself. So these are some of the concepts that we are discussing almost contemporarily today in tourism. A lot of research is being done. My department also participates in research on all these things. But what I want to talk to you is, how do we make sense of the place that we are in or the place that we are visiting? So a question before us is, what is a place? And place is essentially, for the purpose of discussion, I look at place at two different levels. One is the landscape and other is the locale. So place is these two things. That's a place, and then you have a visitor, you have a tourist who comes to this place. What is uh, this place? Every place has a landscape. And then I need not be telling this to you that natural landscapes evolve as a result of geological and surface processes that sculpt a particular place. Whatever shape that it is in today is because of these processes which have been taking place for a very, very long time. But we must also understand that a landscape is not just a mental construct. It is a harmonic individuum of space, which means a space has an individuality, it has a personality, which has to be, which cannot exist, out of sync of the place. So it has to be in harmony with the place. And some of my friends from sociology would recall a Dutch scientist, Otto Schulte, who came up with these two concepts. He said Olenschau, which means the original landscape of a place. And then he also says, uh, conceptualizes another term called cultural Landschaft, which means the cultural landscape of a place. What I'm trying to say is that landscape is the cultural overlay of human presence along with these inanimate elements, whatever natural elements that are there that shape a particular place. This has been negotiated by human being. The geophysical elements of a place have been negotiated by human existence, and people have been living at those places, considering the constraints and resources that are available to them, and they've evolved a pattern of life, which we love calling culture. But what I'm also trying to say is that this culture is very, very unique to the place, right? And therefore, what I often refer to is a concept is the concept of a place DNA. That every place, as I said, a few moments back, that every place has a personality. Every place is unique. Delhi is different from Mumbai. Mumbai is different from Kolkata, and people who travel between these places understand and appreciate these differences. Maybe we cannot list these differences, but we feel these differences. That look, this is a different place. Jaipur is different from Agra. Agra is different from Chandigarh. Chandigarh is maybe different from Patna. So we understand this because every place has a personality and a DNA. And my friends from science will know that this is the structure of a DNA. And we have these four, strands, which are adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. This is beyond us, we're not discussing this. But what we do interestingly is that by the same alphabet, we have four dimensions of a place. One, and first is the geography. So every place has a geography. Everything else is contexted, is situated in this geography. The second thing is the technology that people of the place evolve. I'm not talking about 3G, 4G thing. I'm talking about the indigenous technologies, how we build our houses, how we cook our food, how we grow our food, how we get into agriculture, how we do a lot of things, So that is technology, and I'm not actually leaving out the contemporary technology. That also has a place. Look at Singapore. Singapore is a different experience, different feel, because it uses technology very differently to leverage your experiences, to elevate your experiences. Then we have authenticity. Whatever elements that are visible at a place, are they authentic? And one of the tests for this authenticity is continuity. So are they continuing over a period of time? Let me bring to you two very quick examples. This is a visual from a place in Belgium called Charleroi. And Charleroi is somewhere here on your screens. Now, what is Charleroi? Charleroi was an industrial town in 19th century in Belgium, very famous for its iron and steel industry, a very prosperous city. But then, gradually labor unrest and protest took over, and all this industry was finally closed. People of the town had to leave. So by late 1990s, the city was almost abandoned, uh, and people went elsewhere. There were very few elderly people, very few people left in the city. And then there was the Dutch journalist who was, just visiting the city, and then he realized that cities in Europe are generally very beautiful and very well presented. And he said, like, look, this is an ugly place. And so he wrote an article that the ugliest city of Europe, Charleroi. And then some people like me who come from a tourism background, who come from a business background, realized that this ugliness is in the DNA of the place. The history, the legacy of this place has made it ugly, and that is what it is, and that is what is the reality of this place. So they created a brand that please visit the ugliest city of Europe and look at the ritual inversion. People living in Europe are all used to those beautiful cities, very well presented city, and all of a sudden, a lot of people started visiting this place called Charleva because they said, let us go and see that there could be a ugly place in Europe also. Look at this other example. This is another Dutch city called Githur. And what is it? Some people call it Venice of Netherlands or Venice of West. This is Amsterdam, the incoming port for uh, traffic to Holland and Netherlands. And then here is Githur on your screens. Uh, the whole the key characteristic of this small village or town, whatever you want to call it, is that there are no roads. It is a town where you don't have roads, you only have these canals, and everyone has a boat and they ride and they do their daily course using these boats. You are visiting a friend or you're going shopping, you do using a boat. So this is what Githu is, and that is what the place is. And again, because they didn't try to build roads here that, okay, every place in the world has roads, so let us start building roads here. They said, look, this is part of our personality. This is what we are. And since this is what we are, so let us be what we are and promote ourselves as what we are, distinct and different from other places on the planet. And that is Githun's claim to fame. Very, uh, very fast emerging tourist destination in Holland. Back home, our own pink city, Jaipur. So look at the famous things that the city is famous for, the Hawa Mahal. And this is the Johari Bazaar in Jaipur, the walled city, which is the pink city. And then of late, government realized that our this being pink is our distinctiveness in Jaipur. So they came up with a huge contemporary structure at a place called Jawahar Circle, which is just outside the Jaipur airport, and they created this structure. But this is a very recent structure. But look at the architecture of this thing. Typical vernacular architecture being used. Look at these motifs, so simple motifs, but the entire city from the airport until the pink city, walls on either side of the road are done in this motif. Reason being, a traveler who is coming to Jaipur is actually has some ideas in his mind that, okay, I'm visiting the pink city, and I've seen in photos and pictures and movies that what the pink city is like. But the pink city is almost 15 to 18 kilometers from the airport, with a lot of new colonies coming up. But if a person is traveling through those colonies, the whole idea of pink city, the medieval city, is already lost. So the government decided to paint the walls on the main road with these motifs, so that the moment you get down in Jaipur, you start feeling, or a visitor starts feeling that, look, I'm already in Jaipur. Yes, this is the pink that I've seen in pictures and videos, and this is the pink city of my imagination. So this is a visual. Visitors often come to see a place, in fact, a setting, how humans have lived there and what they have made of this place. A very different argument of existence. They would love to live this life for a while and feel it selectively. So people would like to come to this place. And that is my basic argument today with this discussion, that every place is distinct and a visitor actually comes to sample this place. That, okay, let me be in Jaipur for a day or two, or Agra for a day or two, or maybe Nainital for a day or two, Masuri or Kerala, whatever place it is. I want to be like a Malayali in Kerala or like a Rajasthani in Jaipur, among kings and queens and the feudal society, or in the modern New Delhi, Gurgaon. So whatever place you have, there is a distinct life and experience to this place. Summing it up, what is this place like? So you have a place here in the outer circle, the orange one. Every place has a landscape, and then you have this human activity which creates this locale, which is there in the yellow circle. And then we have within this locale a tourist bubble. This is not the travel bubble that has become very popular these days. Travel bubbles are corridors. So you travel. We have a travel bubble between, say, for example, between India and Maldives. So tourists can travel in this travel bubble. So I'm not talking about travel bubble. I'm talking about a tourist bubble. Tourist bubble is a limited space in which a tourist lives within the locale to experience the place. So maybe I'm sitting in a air-conditioned bus and going around Jaipur, which is very hot, say for example, in the month of April or even in the month of August to September. So that is what we do to support our visitors. But yes, I am in a tourist bubble, so I'm enjoying Jaipur within the confines of my air-conditioned super deluxe van. So that's a different thing. But yes, the tourist bubble exists within this locale. Look at this place, the Ghats of Banaras. Look at these visitors that they want to live the life people live in Banaras for a day or a month or a year that they are there. And this also includes this. So I've done a lot of training for tourist guides, and I always tell them to bear in mind this distinction. And what's this distinction? That tourism is not about seeing and viewing places. Let us all understand this. Tourism is about immersing oneself in an experience. So tourism is not about looking at Taj Mahal. It also includes that dal kachori ka nashta in the morning, on the next morning. So this is how people whose ancestors have built Taj Mahal live. This is how they've carried themselves from 1553 to today, right? So, sorry, 1653 to today. This is how this place has been. So the entirety of the place is important. Art, which is a dominant tangible part of culture, is both the evidence and expression of human existence. So human existence is paramount. How humans have lived itself is the manifestation of, is the evidence and manifestation of art and vice versa. This is what I just told you, that tourism is not about seeing and viewing, it's about experiencing a place. So this is how I thought I'll relate culture, which is based on geography, and how cultures evolve. And when cultures evolve, identities evolve. And when you have an identity or a cultural identity, this is the best candidate for being a tourism product. One of the ways of looking at a place is that Henry Miller said that it's not a place, but a different way of seeing things. And that is precisely why a lot of people travel to different places. Why I'm saying this? Because Analia and Swati at the very beginning said that tourism is one thing which was badly hurt by this pandemic COVID. And now we are all making efforts, though there's a lot of hue and cry about it, but let us leave aside that cribbing. But yes, we are all committed to resurrecting tourism. But tourism tomorrow would be very different from tourism what it was yesterday. And this discussion perhaps is going to help us revision, revision, and reposition tourism tomorrow. I think 3 years back, I was with your department talking about geotourism. I think probably that year it was the theme for Vasundhara was geotourism, and I spoke about these three elements, which I'm just reiterating that tourism is all about these three elements: ABC, the abiotic, the inanimate elements of our surrounding, the animate elements of our surrounding, and then the processes between or the uh, interrelationship between animate and inanimate elements of a place, which result into the cultural elements at that place. So this is how we need to understand what tourism is, and this brings me to Vasundhara, because you've used this is the festival. You are all students of geography who are celebrating Vasundhara. And as we celebrate, especially as students of geography, as we celebrate Vasundhara, we need to, remind ourselves of a few things, or at least be aware of a few things. One is that let us re-emphasize Vasundhara. When I say re-emphasize Vasundhara, I'm saying let us make sense of this planet Earth. When I say make sense of the place, I am also including in this a concern for the place. So what are the concerns? Let us educate ourselves about the concerns that this planet Earth, that this Vasundhara faces. We must all strive to preserve, protect, and sustain this planet. And as the young generation, as the future of humanity, all of you must take a lot of pride in celebrating the diversity that this Vasundhara offers to us. Uh, Please celebrate this diversity. Please celebrate the human ingenuity, which has created a lot of this diversity, different reactions or different answers that Vasundhara has thrown to humankind. So we had a different response in Mexico, and in Tibet it was a different response. In Pacific Islands, it was a different response. In India, it was a different response. So these are human responses to human ingenuity and human response to the challenges that Earth throws to us. And last but not the least, please do not forget to enjoy your stay on this Vasundhara. Whatever time that we are spending on this planet Earth as humans, my belief is that whatever God you believe in has created us, has sent us to this world to enjoy this planet along with being responsible. So please do that. And I love this challenge. It's a challenge that comes to me. So I'll end up throwing this challenge to you also, because you are the leaders of tomorrow. This, as some of you would recognize, is Pantheon in Rome. And there was something very interesting that I noted and which forced me to click this picture. This Pantheon was originally created in 27 to 13th century BC, and then it was destroyed and it was recreated in almost in around, there are different dates, but let us take this date, 126 AD or 126 Common Era as we call it now. So we created this then, and what I want you to focus on in this photo is the way people today are relating with Pantheon. So there is a built structure that was built almost 2000 years back. This is my legacy. I mean, my means the legacy of the people of the place. So this is our legacy, and we're sitting and enjoying this place. So we're enjoying our history by being so very close to this place. But somehow this is what I cannot do in India. Whenever I meet these guys from Archaeological Survey of India or from Forest Department in case of forests, I say, why don't you allow me to interact with my history and my legacy? And they say, you are still not as disciplined as the people in the West that you refer to, jokes apart. But my challenge is, why can't I go and interact, and why can't I relate with the heritage that I inherit? Again, the compere of the program said that Swati also referred to this, that as India, we are endowed with almost infinite, elements from heritage, but we need to learn to take care of them, be close to them, and integrate them increasingly in our lives. The whole idea is that a good place to live is a good place to visit. So let us all make the places that we live good, better, and better than what they were yesterday. And if we are able to do this, because we started by saying that we must talk about tourism, we must talk about bringing back tourists to our places. Suraj said that there are a lot of good that also happened because of COVID. And as I put it, COVID did what we always wanted to do, but did not have courage to do that. Our beaches are cleaner, our places our mountains are more serene, there's no pollution over Delhi. So they're all good things that have happened. So let us continue to, to maintain the status quo, because if we create better places, tourism and tourists will flow in as a sequel to that. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for such an informative, enriching talk. And it was great listening to your valuable discourse. And we have some questions in the chat box. And I request Dr. Ganesh Yadav to kindly take up the questions from the chat box.
Thank you, Analia. First of all, thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful, thoughtful, and meaningful talk on tourism, culture, its various facets, dimensions, and implication of the current situation on this particular economic activity. So thank you so much, sir. We all are enlightened now. Now, I would like to take some questions from the participants. And the first question is by Dr. Swati Rajput, ma'am. How virtual tourism will impact the economy, especially considering MICE tourism?
Virtual tourism is still being debated, but one of the things for sure is that tourism is very closely related to the imagination of the consumer, and a lot of virtual tourism helps ignite our imagination about the place. How do I present a place is very, very important. And we, again, very interestingly, let me share this with everyone. One of the things that some of us are interested in and some of us are researching and others are planning to research is that places appear more beautiful in photos than what they really are, right? So everyone goes to a place and posts a photo on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is, and all others are so excited about it. But when you get to this place, you realize that that person has chosen a particular angle, a particular type, and particular filters to project this very exciting place. But yes, whatever it might be, it still ignites our drive to visit a place. And so this is precisely what virtual tourism is going to do. Most of the tourism boards around the world, especially those which have a technological mind, have a virtual presentation of the places that they want visitors to come and visit.
The second question is, sir, from Shashank Gochar. He asks, how will climate change will affect tourism in coming years?
For sure, climate change is a big concern, and that is where people from tourism are very much concerned. And as I said in my uh, talk to you in my discussion, that tourism is very, very closely related to the geography of a place, right? Allow me and permit me to, discount art and culture. The whole idea, say 2 decades back in India was that tourism is about people visiting Taj Mahal or people visiting Jaipur. But look at this whole concept. A person who wants to visit India to see Taj Mahal must come to India for a minimum of say 72 hours, 3 days. Or so he's waiting 2 years, you know, just making arrangements, earning money so that he's enough money to travel, say 10,000 miles, come to India and visit Taj Mahal. He is in India for 4 days, 96 hours. And look the amount of time that he spends at Taj Mahal, 1 hour or maximum 2 hours. So Taj Mahal might be an attraction, but Taj Mahal is not the tourism product in its entirety. 94 hours minus 2 hours is also very, very important. So what happens during those, say, 90 hours, 94 hours, whatever it is the place. And as I said, lot of us, most of us, travel to a place which is very different, even geographically from our place. Look at people who come to India from outside India. They normally come during October to March because it's relatively cooler here. So if it's a climate change and our summers extend or heat extends up to say November, and then again February, it's very hot in India. So your tourism season shrinks to 2 months, right? Why would I travel to say a hill station which is no more cool? So definitely the natural construct, the nature is a bigger driver for tourism than the built environment. Natural environment to a certain extent is more influenced by climate and all these issues. It's very, very important. I have a researcher in my department who is trying to track that what are the changes in climate at selected destination and what is the tourist arrival or the rate of tourist arrival at those destinations. Hypothesis being that as the climate changes, tourist footfall is going to decrease. So with this hypothesis is researching, and probably the null or the alternative hypothesis or the driver for this research is the belief that climate change will adversely affect tourism. That is for sure.
Thank you, sir. Now I would take the third question. It is from Dr. Rashmi Rani Anand. Sir, very nice presentation. What will be the shape of tourism industry in post-COVID era, as this industry is the most affected now?
There will be many changes, and a lot of people who are projecting a lot of things, but something that is more related to geographers and the geographers and the environmentalists, perspective to tourism is all about sustainability. So my colleagues from around the world who talk about, most of them who talk about sustainability are geographers and people from environmental sciences. So they were more concerned about, and they are more concerned about sustainability of the places. A lot of tourists coming beyond the carrying capacity of the place, which actually destroys the place and sometimes destroys the place beyond redemption. So that was a challenge. But all of a sudden, everything has stopped. One of the changes that I can very clearly see is that as human beings, as individuals, we have all become more responsible. The number of people spitting on the road has reduced. Our sense of cleanliness has increased, our sense of responsibility has increased. So another concept in tourism was responsible tourism, responsible behavior by all stakeholders of tourism. That was very closely related to sustainable tourism. But why I'm talking about this is that there is a new trend that is emerging, and this is called regenerative tourism. Not damaging the place beyond its carrying capacity was sustainable tourism, but now they say, and now what is being advocated is that a visitor should visit a place with a intention that when he comes back, he leaves that place better than before. Earlier, the idea was we should not damage the place or destroy the place compared to what it was before. But now the idea is that let us go to a place, visit a place, and contribute our might so that we leave this place better. We leave this Vasundhara better for the next generation is the whole idea that is picking up in tourism. How far it goes, I do not know. But yes, from around the world, because we keep talking to each other, from around the world, this whole concept of regenerative tourism is picking ground. So number of changes that will take place at micro level, at business level, at tactical level, but at a larger level, and responsibility for regeneration is going to be very, very important. And there was a very good quote that I read, in fact, yesterday evening. They say, that quote read that tourist is half a pilgrim if pilgrim is half a tourist, which means when you travel as a tourist, you travel with such a noble intention, because pilgrim is about, good behavior, good intention, being close to whatever God you believe in. So when you travel as a tourist, you are half a pilgrim, you are that enlightened and elated. So that is perhaps going to be the tourism tomorrow.
Now the third question is from Dr. Poonam Sharma ma'am. In India, we have immense scope to enhance the tourism and hospitality.
Before you ask me the question, my suggestion is that you must invite me to your department over a cup of tea. All
Yes,
the
yes.
teachers are
Sure, sure, sure.
questions for
We
me.
We would love to, sir.
Professor Chaudhary, we will definitely. And this is the second time we are interacting. Once earlier also, but I'm sure we are really looking forward for such times when Corona situation. I'm sure soon, probably after the vaccination rounds are done, soon we would be definitely
That was
invited.
just on the lightest side. Yes, Ganesh, what was the question?
Yes, sir. The question is from Dr. Poonam Sharma ma'am. In India, we have immense scope to enhance the tourism and hospitality industry. What would you suggest?
Two things. One, every place on this planet Earth has a potential for tourism. There are a lot of people who talk about potential of tourism at a particular place. I don't really buy that idea. I am a purely business person. I don't even have an education in tourism. I have my education in management, business management. The idea is that every place has a resource. Think of a useless place called from a common man's perspective, think of a useless place like this, what you call the Run of Kutch, right? Absolutely flat land, white sand, which is actually the salt deposit. Nothing can grow on it. And a very interesting story. I just wrote that story as a small vignette for my next book. Most of us don't know that there was a small fight between India and Pakistan in Run of Kutch also in 1965, before the operation, Black Desert, Operation Gibraltar. Pakistanis came into India, miles into India in Run of Kutch, and it was such a useless place that people or the armies didn't even bother of manning that place. Only after Pakistan came in, we realized that they have come in, and then we started pushing them back, and then the entire thing went to UN, and then UN decided. So 1/3 of Run of Kutch went to Pakistan, 2/3 came to India, whatever. But that is the kind of place. So For most of us, it is a useless place, but human creativity, they created a run festival there, right? So today, there are 5 million people who visit Run of Kutch only during the festival. So every place on this planet Earth and beyond this planet Earth, space tourism these days has a potential. The idea is if you can convert it into a product and sell it to the consumer, it sells. What should we do in India is a very difficult question. Even the government of India is trying to answer that question for last so many years. But yes, the growth of tourism in India is by and large okay. Uh, we are growing at a pretty decent rate. Before COVID, world tourism was growing, world economy was growing at a rate of 3.2%. Tourism was growing at 4% globally. Tourism globally was growing at 4% because tourism in in Asia Pacific was growing at 7.5%. Tourism in Asia was growing at 7.5% because tourism in South Asia, which is our region, was growing at 14.2%. So the growth of tourism was good, and all projection says that tourism is gradually shifting from Europe, developed economies, to emerging economies. So by and large, it's okay. And at the micro level, there are a lot of things that need to be done. We still don't have a law or a policy for tourism. We don't have a strategy for tourism. We in India don't know whose responsibility is tourism. And I don't know if some of you understand law and constitution. Tourism doesn't figure in central list. It's not there in the state list of subjects. It's even not there in the concurrent list of subjects. So tourism is just in the residual list of subjects. जो छूट गए, जो रह गए. The tourism is still there. So that is the kind of uncertainty that surrounds tourism. But a lot of states are doing very good. Kerala, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, especially southern Indian states, they're all doing good. And given this competition, probably will pull up these things. We've been quite successful in handling COVID also compared to the rest of the world. So I don't see a challenge, but yes, it's the challenges are at the very, very micro level, not at the macro level.
Thank you, sir. So due to paucity of time, I won't take up all the questions, but I would take the last one. It is from Dr. Anupama Hasija, ma'am. Tourism is all about going for a break or a change shift from the monotony. Will virtual tourism ever give that feel or experience, or will it quench the thirst of explorers?
The tone of the question itself has the answer that no, it will not do that, right? And but it will definitely increase your willingness to go out. And virtual tourism is only because I do not know what place do I go to. Do I go to Githun, or do I go to Charleroi, or do I go to some other place in Europe? What place do I go? To take a good decision, I take a course to virtual tourism. If I want to promote my place, a particular kind of experience, a particular kind of idea, because tourism is all about an experience. It's not like a laptop or a mobile phone or a car or any other tangible product. It's very, very intangible. It's about experience. You pay for tourism first and then you consume tourism later, right? And you have no chance to evaluate your tourism experience before you actually are traveling for tourism. So those are some of the challenges. To offset those challenges, how do I know that I'm buying the right thing? This is where a lot of virtual tourism is going to help us. This is precisely as of now why tourism boards and other places are doing. And the other part of your question is a big discussion that we are doing. The tourism is not only about experience. That is what we are talking right now. tourism is about transformation. Tourism service, tourism products, tourism experiences, what someone gives to a visitor. But what is becoming more important and increasingly important is that what happens to me after a travel. So I go to, say, for example, Uttarakhand for a weekend. Why do I go? Because I've been working very hard the entire week, and now I want a break, as you say. I want to relax, I want to chill. So I go to Uttarakhand. I want to de-stress myself. I want to, relieve myself. Am I able to do that is the question. So if those places transform me for a while or for a longer period of time, that would be the efficacy of a tourism experience. And a lot of us are, talking about transformation through tourism. My punchline for next 2-3 years is that all tourism is transformational. Whenever you undertake tourism, you transform. There's a new perspective, there's a new wisdom. There are a lot of, things in my mind that get untangled. अरे ऐसे भी हो सकता है दुनिया में, ऐसा भी होता है. There's this, so all these things give me, extend a lot of relief to me. So these are all good things. They transform me, and tourism is actually about transformation. Even UNWTO in its latest report has said that one of the most important reasons for travel today is transformation. Other being prestige and Instagrammability and all those things among the youngsters, but even among youngsters, transformation, stress, work-related stress, these are all very, very important.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us and for clearing all the doubts and queries. And my apologies to the participants whom question we could not take up due to the paucity of time. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Ganesh.
I would like to take up Analia. Over to you, Analia.
Thank you, sir, for such an interactive and insightful Q&A from your end. So moving ahead, I would like to call Mr. Yash Raj, President, Department of Geography, to announce the events and give us the final vote of thanks on the behalf of Geography Association. Over to Yash Raj.
Thank you, Analia. Good morning, everyone. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us. We were very pleased to be able to have among us those of you that have been with us for a long time now, as well as those who are new to this association. This year marks our digital footprint, and we are proud to be able to host it at this wonderful digital place with all of you. I would like to thank our chief guest, Professor Nimit Ranjan Chaudhary, our patron, Dr. Anil Sardana, and teachers for giving their valuable time and knowledge. A sincere thanks to all the jury members of the respective events. Before we move towards the end, I would like to express my sincere appreciations to all of you who have generously helped us making these events a great success. We couldn't have done it without you. In today's gathering, I would like to focus on all our new volunteers who have been with us since their time of admission to this prestigious institution. You have all been chosen to be a part of our association due to mutual passion for doing all things well. Your passions help us all to unite, and the energy we created is what allowed us to achieve our individual as well as group goal in the successful organizing of Vasundhara 2021. We needed you as much as you needed us, and that is why we are grateful to have you with us here. I would like to thank our media partners, DuBeat, DuExpress, and Ensemble, Feelings Hatke as our gifting partner, Live Bindas as our merchandise partner, the Education Tree and Campus Blogger as our youth community partners. In further 2 days, you will be learning about the different initiatives through our planned activities and special events which hope would help you grow to be more productive and smart. The list for the events are entry-based events are as follows: Abhivyakti, the solo act competition, Digital Nomads, the reel making competition, Kala Excursion, the poster making competition, Let's Naach, the dance competition, and Yatra, the photography competition. Live events are as follows: the Breaking Bounds, the virtual student symposium, Globetrotters, the quiz competition, MyCon, the virtual open mic competition. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. I need to leave some time for the next edition of Vasundhara 2021, and that too will be fun and full of learning. So a very warm and a cordial thanks to each and every one of you. If you have any questions, suggestions, clarification, or just want to say hi, feel free to connect. Thank you very much for listening and being a part of us. Thank you. Over to you, Analia.
Thank you, Yashraj. Now I request everyone to please salute for the playing of national anthem and pay respect to fluttering tricolored Tiranga. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And here we have come to the end of inaugural ceremony of Vasundhara 2021. And now we're going to end the meeting.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.